Hey everybody. This is a short thought just to tell you to cleanse, right? So you have come out of your spiritually abusive environment or that cult, and you're living your life and you're doing your thing. And so I encourage you strongly to cleanse, right? And so while I can't control what type of reactions you do have, I have no right to tell you not to be angry or to be bitter or I can't, I just can't tell you how you should feel. I do want to give a very strong recommendation on just what you can do to move forward. And so there are um, two things that I want to help you with, just so that you're not latching on to these memories, right? So I would say recommendation number one is to not go to places just to share hurt. So, what do I mean? There are some different pages online, sometimes Facebook groups or whatever it might be, that where people who have gone through similar experiences assemble. Now, this is good. To some degree, it is good because it's great to have a support system, a community of folks, those who can understand you. But some places are not the best because everything kind of surrounds that one experience, that cult experience. And it's almost as if sometimes it's like that's all you talk about, right? Like it's so heavily focused on that, and it's just like, well, what next? You know what I mean? So we don't forget what we've gone through, but we don't stay trapped and we don't stay fixated, right? Because we left. So if we left, we left. Um, so that's my recommendation of being able to have a support system that can understand or relate to you, but also it becomes an iron sharpens iron type of thing. How can we get past this? How can I help you? How can you help me? How can we pray for one another? What type of things are what encouraged you today that you could share, and vice versa? So you don't want to be stuck mentally. It's one thing to get out physically, but it's another thing to get out mentally. So that is one of my recommendations for that. And the second one, which really is going to help with the first recommendation, is forgiveness, which is AKA healing, right? And so why do you want to do that, right? Some people might say, well, I got hurt in, or this place just, they was funny towards me, they were just not right, the moral code was off, you know what I mean? Like, because I mean, cults are just evil, right? Cult systems are very, very evil, so you never feel good about that. And so it's easy to just be angry and just be like, oh nah, you know what I mean? But why do we want to forgive? Why do we want to heal? um well, first and foremost, I always recommend healing, especially to those of you who are believers of Jesus, that believe in God. It's a commandment one. But aside from that, aside from the super spiritual answer, I want you to think about it this way, right? Again, you have left. So if you are harboring all this stuff, that cult still has power over you when you think about it, right? You are trying to live your life, and you're holding on to the pain or the trauma or the bitterness, or even just the sadness, because sometimes it's not, sometimes your emotions aren't really like but sometimes it could just be sadness, right? And so and grief, because you've lost a lot in all of this. But you know, if you really have left and in your mind are thinking you don't want anything to do with this anymore, then forgiveness is going to be your superpower. It's going to be the key to all of this. And I want to really talk about what forgiveness kind of looks like and what it means. So I'm not saying to that we condone the behavior. We don't condone, we don't excuse, we don't justify, right? We see it for what it is. But what forgiveness really is, what I've been able to learn over time is, simply put, it's not giving energy over to it anymore. You know what I mean? So it's about being clear, not holding grudges, but at the same time you can be away. So that was something that was a huge lesson for me over the course of my life, is that I pardoned a lot of people and I didn't understand that forgiveness was more about me than it was the other person. And I thought to myself, oh, well, forgiveness means that I stay. Forgiveness means that I still am in the proximity of this person or these people. But really, you're allowing yourself to still be in harm's way, and that's not really healthy for you. And it's also not something that God expects you to do either. So it's okay to forgive someone and say, you know what, my heart is clear. I it's cool. It's all water under the bridge, but at the same time, I just can't be around you. It's not beneficial. It wouldn't help me in any way. And you're just gonna you're not even repentant about it. So I would be enabling you by sticking around. So it's okay to do that. And I'll probably go deeper into the forgiveness point, because I think that'll help some folks. But I am planning to make this shorter. But yeah, so think about those things. Think about, if you've moved on, you don't want to still give it your energy. And yeah, you don't want to still give it your energy. There was something else I was going to say, but I think I kind of forgot. But yeah, be clear in your heart. And also, you also want to forgive because you don't want to get caught up in mental loops. So this is something that, I battle a lot. Like, I fight very, very hard to forgive and things like that, and make sure my heart and my mind is clear of everything, because I tend to think a lot and I think deeply about things. I tend to do a lot of callbacks. Like, I remember a lot of scenarios and I get caught up in the should have, could have, would have, but didn't. And sometimes it can be, if I don't regulate it properly, if I don't take that time to quiet my mind or to pray and ask God to help me, I will get stuck in mental loops. So if you're anything like me, that to have that in your mind, it's like torment of the mind. So you don't want to get stuck, because the mind is super powerful. And it's like that saying, when you think, therefore you are. So you need to have very high maintenance over your mind, and to not be still listening to the voices of what the cult said about you, or just their perspective on the world and faith and different things. So you need to get out of that mental loop so that you can have mental clarity. And then I think the biggest, if you've heard nothing else, this is my biggest appeal to you, that you want to make sure that you forgive and that you actually heal from this, because this is going to ruin how you see things. It'll ruin your ability to trust people, to trust church communities, or even to trust God. And so I know that you, the viewer, want to have great relationships. You want to be able to, have, you know, that intimacy, right? And closeness to people. But if you get so stuck on and this is not just for in the context of cults, right? In general, if you let a hurt be so deeply rooted within you, it's just it'll just affect your ability to be close to other people, right? So, I sometimes what I see a lot is, the some people I've seen have been upset, uh, about, oh, I was dating so and so for XYZ amount of years, and but then he left me, and then or he cheated on me, and now you trying to get into a new relationship, and then it's like you're always, and maybe this is a good man, maybe he's a good man, Savannah, but now because of that past experience, maybe you're saying like, oh, let me check his phone, whatever, and then this man might, who actually is a good dude, might get exhausted and then be like, you know what, I'm finished with you. And then he goes on and he finds somebody else who he gets engaged to and married to within like 2 months time, and you're just like, dag, what? So that's like an example that I've seen online, just on the interwebs. And so just don't let that be you. Don't ruin your upcoming blessings because you can't forgive. It's going to create a whole bunch of trust issues, and people who want to actually get to know you and get close to you are not going to be able to because you have a wall. So that's my recommendation to you. Cleanse, release, let it go. You got so much more ahead of you. Stop giving these people your power. All right. So that's my semi-tough girl, Elise, talking to you right now. Let it go. All right. Cleanse, be clean. All right. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any feedback or just additional questions, per usual, my info is in the description box. So reach out to me with anything. All right. So take care. I'll see you next time.